Hello again. Now, some of the more eagle-eyed among you have spotted something in my garden videos, and a few people have messaged and asked. Go on, what glasses? A few people have messaged and asked me what it is. Now, they've spotted what looks like a cage. Yes, it's for my children when they misbehave. Oh, it's not really. No. There's a bit of a story behind this one. See, a few months ago, we were in the middle of lockdown. I think it was the first week the kids went back to school. They were allowed back. I was walking back from the school, went to Sainsbury's, did a bit of shopping. It was me, my girlfriend pushing our baby, very newborn baby in the pram. And as we were walking along this grass verge, we spotted a crow on the floor. So of course I instantly grabbed the camera and start trying to take photos. And I feel I'll get a bit cheeky, see how close we can get to it. And like, as I was getting closer, I'm like, it's going to fly off, it's going to fly, it's going to fly off. I mean, it didn't. I actually ended up staying next to it and it was just looking up at me. So then I thought, well, there's obviously something not quite right. And as I thought that, the crow then decides to do this little hoppy skippy thing that they do, straight into the middle of the road. To which me, being me, I stop all the traffic, go in and pick the crow up. As I picked up, I'm expecting the crow to start kicking off, trying to bite me. Instead, it just sat there, and I thought that was a little bit strange for a crow, especially a wild crow, because I thought he would have to go at me. So I picked it up, took it back up to the edge of the verge, give it a quick feel over. There was no signs of damage, it wasn't in pain, it was just sort of sitting there. So then I quickly thought, what I'm going to do, I'm going to go see if I can get some help for this thing. So I went to Sainsbury's, that's just down the road, grabbed the box, put the crow in the box, took it home. Got home, looked it over again, it seemed fine, except I did notice it had like a glassy effect in one eye. So I thought, oh, it's obviously maybe blind in one eye. It's not a problem for a wild animal, they can generally do a blind like that. So then I thought, well, I'll tell you what I'll do, because I've done this before, I've had like birds flying to windows, they've stunned themselves. Can you hear those starlings? They've stunned themselves, and I've put them in a box overnight. The next day you can tap on the box, you let them out, they fly off, they're fine. So I thought I'd do the same with the crow. So I get the crow, I bring him home, I leave him overnight in a box. The next morning I let him out of the box, and he flies onto my shoulder and sits there. So I figured, is it someone's pet that's tame? This thing seems too tame. So then I thought, well, I'll leave him another night and we'll see how we go. So the next night I bring him down, I think, right, that's it, let's try and let him go, let's try and release him. So I bring him into the garden, I put him on a chair, and he sat there looking at me for about 10 minutes. Eventually he decided to fly. He flew up a little bit, then flew back down again. But it seemed like his wings were fine, it seemed like he just didn't want to go. So again, I thought, right, another night in a box will be fine. At this point, my ever-suffering girlfriend is a little bit like, you can't have that crow in the house anymore, because I often let him out of the box, because when you let him out of the box, crows tend to go to the toilet. And he went to the toilet quite a lot. He got it on our sofa, up our wall, on our door, on our fridge. I let him out in the kitchen, and he broke into a packet of apples and destroyed all of them and ate all of them. So I know he likes apples. I did a bit of research, found out what to feed him, and the whole time I had him I was feeding him little bits of dog food and ham, scraps like that. He seemed quite happy. So then I thought, right, I'm going to leave him, put him down in my shed. So basically I cleared out most of the shed, only I forgot to take the kids' pram out, and he pooed all over the pram. So again I was in the dog house for a bit again. And then my girlfriend said, look, you need to do something about this crow, we can't keep it forever. So that's when I thought, you know what, this is now out of my hands, I don't know what to do now. I've just got to turn the camera, hopefully it'll right itself. No, it hasn't. We're about that way. So I didn't know what to do. I rung, so I thought I'd ring a few of these animal rescue charity things. So I rung one up and they were like, yeah, we don't think this crow can be released to the wild. I explained it had the glassy eye, it's probably blind in one eye. I explained that it was a little bit timid, but I said, well, it can't be released in the wild, and we're a rescue release charity. So I was like, fair enough, I understand that. So then they passed on to another one. I basically ended up in a chain of charities who at the present time, due to the lockdown, due to the current situation, couldn't really help out with the crow. It was like, well, we can't really do anything. They said if you take him to a vet, generally he's probably not being euthanised because he can't go to the wild, and no one can really keep him because you have to find a rescue centre that keeps. And it was quite hard to do that, especially one that keeps, that actually has room for him at the because obviously we're in lockdown, more people are going out seeing nature, more people seeing wild stuff. So I couldn't find anywhere. And after about the 10th, sorry about the fingers, after about the 10th rescue centre, I got in contact with an elderly lady answered the phone at one of these rescue centres. I could not remember the name of it because I literally went from one to the other and I gave up looking at the names. And I wish I'd remembered the name because she was one of the funniest, cutest old women I've ever spoken to in my life. She was like, she said she couldn't house it, there might be a few places, but she doesn't think they would. She explained that it sounds to her like he's still in shock, that's why he's so timid, and it's going to take him a while to come out of it, and when he does come out of it, he will go back to being quite a wild crow. And then she's like, why don't you keep it? And I'm like, because my girlfriend will kill me. And then she's like, well, why don't you talk to her? Because crows do make fantastic pets. I've had a few here myself. She had one that she said was basically like the family dog. And that I should try and keep it and look after it. She said, the worst thing that's going to happen is it's going to die, but it's going to die happy. You're going to be feeding it every day, it'll be healthy. So if you release it, it's going to get attacked by other crows, seagulls, because they show the blind in one eye, the fact that he's probably got depth perception issues, which he does have, will make him blind in one eye. So I ended up keeping him because I felt like I had no choice. This is the side of me that I just can't let it go. So I've now kept him, and we've called him Eric, and he lives in the garden just over here. So now we're going to go and feed Eric. I'm going to show you Eric. Now, the old lady I spoke to was right. It took him about a week of he stopped being friendly, he started to be more standoffish, and now he's kind of a bit shy. But speaking to Lady, she did say he will revert back to being more timid the more you get to know him, the more you talk to him. So I come in here every day, looking like a bit of an idiot, and have a conversation with the crow. And he has got a lot better. He will let me stroke him now, he will let me feed him sometimes by hand if he wants to, so he is timid enough. I mean, the difference between when I first brought him home and he was completely tame and he was sitting on my shoulder and he didn't care, to now is shocking. But I'm hoping he'll revert back to that. I've no idea how old he is. All I know is that he's perfectly healthy in every way except for the eye problem, and he doesn't really talk much. I mean, from what I've spoke to the other people, they said they make a lot of noise. He doesn't really make any noise, which is another weird thing. But we'll go see him now, and you can let me know what you think of him. Okay? I actually built this cage myself, and I am not a builder in any way, shape or form. So it is a bit of a bodge job cage, but it is doing the trick, and I'll show you inside. Got his food here, and there is Eric at the back. Hello Eric, good morning. Yes, it's me again. Oh, so there's Eric. Once he sees the food come out, he'll start calming down. Oh, he's doing his thing again. Like I said, he is still a bit timid, but he's getting there. But yeah, he's blind in one eye, not that eye you can see now, it's the other side. But there he is in his glory. Right, so generally, obviously, I have to feed Eric, and what I've been taught to feed him is a little bit of everything, because crows will generally eat everything. So this is generally Eric's diet most days. He'll have some fruit, have some dog food. Today he's got beef in jelly. He actually really likes beef, actually. He's quite fond of beef. When I spoke to the old lady again, she was like, every so often I gave my crow some steak. And I was thinking, I don't get steak that often, so there's no way he's getting steak that often. What are you doing now? Alright, so there's no way he's getting steak that often. So there we go. So dog food, bit of steak in jelly, which I'll rip over for him in a second. Obviously he's got to have his thing of water, which is he's obviously been bathing in, because it's going to be a funny colour, so I'll change that in a minute. That's his old bowl. So yeah, Eric will sometimes peck at food and miss it because he's got depth perception issues, with obviously being blind in one eye. Obviously he's not very happy at the minute, so I've come in here with him. He's still trying to get used to me, but I find if I spend about 5 minutes in here with him, he starts to calm down, actually comes over and we'll eat. Obviously I'm not going to spend 5 minutes now with you, because I was trying to hold the phone up 5 minutes and not talk to him. He's going to get the ump. But he is a magnificent creature. To be honest with you, I really wish I could release him back to the wild, because try to spin around so you can see him a bit more. I really wish I could release him back to the wild, because he is a lovely bird and I just want him to go home. But he really can't, because the second he goes out there, he's going to get killed by something, or he's going to have some sort of other accident. I mean, That's his favourite place. He loves to be in this corner. So I've darkened the corner. I've put a roof on for him because obviously he needs a shelter bit. I originally put a little house in there for him, but all he ever did was sit on the roof, and that was it. He never went inside it. He didn't really like it that much. But he definitely likes that. Oh look, he's come over to have a look. It's a fun area. Please don't break the screen. There we go. So anyway, I'm going to give him a bit of food now. I forgot to bring out his ham. He does love a bit of ham. I'll go get that in a second. Anyway, so that's the story of Eric and how he ended up living with us. And he might end up living with us the rest of his days. So he's going to get used to it soon. He's already started coming down to investigate when the kids come out here. He likes to look at them, stare at them for a bit. And you'd often find him at the edge of his cage, looking out, tapping on the wood, waiting for us to come and feed him. It's like his little, come feed me now, little thing. Well, he only ever does that when we're out in the garden. He sort of taps on the edge of the wood. He's actually made a few dents in it as well. Let me show you. So as you can see those little holes, that's where he taps on the wood. And he's like, hello. And you go up to him and he sort of does this weird little, sort of comes back down to where his food normally gets sat. And he keeps doing it until we bring the food out and then he stops doing it. So it's obviously his little way of saying, I'm hungry, feed me please. But then if we did that every time he did it, he'd be very fat. Anyway guys, cheers for watching. Sorry the video got cut in half, I had to redo a second part. But yeah, that's Eric. And we'll see how he gets on. If anything happens to him, obviously I'll let you know. But at the minute, he's a happy, healthy crow. He's enjoying life. And getting very well fed. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you, on a Sunday, he has a roast dinner. We actually make him a roast dinner. Yeah, we're a bit weird. Anyway, he loves it. Alright, speak soon. Bye bye.